the joy of the Italian fans he was. As the grid formed up at Monza, Jacques Lafitte was celebrating his first pole position. Alongside him was Jody Scheckter, but the Ferrari fans had eyes for only one man, Niki Lauda. Only 42 days after his accident at the Nürburgring, the Ferrari team leader was back on the track and had qualified ahead of his teammate, who was ninth. Right at the back of the grid were the two McLarens and the Penske, punished for a fuel infringement. James Hunt would have to work hard in this race. As the pack was unleashed, it seemed that Lafitte had made a perfect start. However, as the leaders came out of the first chicane, it was a six-wheeled Tyrrell that led Lafitte, Barche, Depailler, and a quick start in Regazzoni. Passing through the second chicane and heading for the Lesmo curves, Depailler had already passed Barche. Further down the pack, not all the drivers were handling the chicane well. Mas decided to cut corners a little. Mas was trying hard to make up for lost ground, but he was perhaps trying too hard. He was the first retirement after just 3 laps, and he was followed 2 laps later by Barche. After only 4 laps, Peterson had moved into second place behind Scheckter. Meanwhile, Lauda, slow at the start and running 12th at the end of the first lap, was beginning to move through the field, running 7th after Brambilla. 6 laps later, the Swedish driver took the lead when Scheckter's engine went off song. He led the 2 Tyrrells, while Lafitte and Regazzoni were engaged in their own battle. A few lengths back, Brambilla and Lauda were fighting over 6th place. On lap 12, the wishes of the partisan Italian fans were fulfilled when Hunt, the Englishman who was daring to challenge a Ferrari driver for the championship, retired after trying to outbrake Tom Price at the second chicane. James exchanged good wishes with the marshals as the leading trio lapped Nielsen's Lotus. As Hunt set off to run back to the pits, the fans no doubt thought his retirement was justice for the points he'd scored in Lauda's absence. At the head of the race, Depailler was challenging Peterson strongly as the top 6 split into 3 fighting pairs. Peterson versus Depailler, Lafitte versus Regazzoni, and Scheckter versus Lauda. In time, the scrap among the top 6 developed into a 1-4-1 formation, with Peterson pulling ahead, Depailler, Lafitte, Regazzoni and Scheckter at it hammer and tongs, and Lauda losing ground but still in touch. Scheckter dropped back as his engine continued to lose power, but the remaining drivers played out a superb battle. None of the trailing 3 looked like challenging Peterson for the lead, however, although Regazzoni and Lafitte closed in on him in the final laps. At the flag, 3 seconds covered the first 3 cars. But it was the 4th finisher that captured the imagination. Niki Lauda's fight back from the burns that had led to him being given the last rites in Germany was a magnificent example of determination and heroism. The reception he received from the crowd and the track workers showed the respect in which he was held. The same respect was shown by members of the Ferrari team that met him when he drove his car back into the paddock. As the crowd thronged the track to salute the winners, the star of the day was the man who wasn't on the podium. For those who were, it was a good day. Peterson had scored his first win for 2 years, while Depailler had carried Tyrrell's colours well.